How good is street performing as far as using it as a training ground?
It's the best place because the audiences are the most honest and they give you the most feedback. And the feedback is either they stay, they laugh, and they clap, or they walk away. So if they walk away, you know that, okay, I need to fix something. Or maybe they stay, but they don't laugh or they don't clap. And you're like, okay, I need to fix something. But the most brilliant thing is that as soon as your show's over and they walk away, you can repeat that show and change one little thing. Maybe you just tweak the delivery of a joke, or maybe you change the joke in some little way or whatever. But the point is you get to immediately try it again and see if it works better. And then if it works better, you keep it in. The other beautiful thing about it is I'm not very quick-witted, but when I worked on the street, I became super sharp, super quick-witted, and I would start to ad-lib very funny lines. And then as soon as you ad-lib that line, you get to keep it in the show because you're not going to forget about it because you're doing another show in another 5 minutes. You put it right in. Now you've delivered that line twice in, 40 minutes. You can take anything out on the street, and if you do it 100 times, it'll become an act. And if you do it 1,000 times, it'll become a good act,
Yeah, one thing I love hearing from other magicians, especially because this is called Improv and Magic, is the fact that not a lot of people realize that there are times where magicians do have to improvise from time to time because your audience is always different. Did you kind of go through having to learn how to improvise a lot while you were performing?
Well, I wish so much that I had an improv club near me, because I would definitely go there, and I think it would keep me sharp and teach me new skills. I would say that I didn't have to learn how to improvise. I would say that the street taught me, without me even seeking it. It just taught me. And part of it is, when you're a magician, you're kind of a time traveler because you're going to be in the same situation again and again and again. And so you can start to go in there and get really comfortable in those spaces when you return to that part of the show again and again and again. And it makes it really easy to do improv because your brain is kind of free. I know what my hands are doing with the cups and balls better than, any magician who hasn't done it, 5,000 times or whatever. So my brain is free to work and work and work and come up with those witty lines, that kind of thing. So yeah, the street gave me the gift of being a pretty good non-trained improviser. I have no improv training, but I do come up with good lines on the spot.
Well, throughout your career, you've been able to not only perform in the street, but also in a lot of indoor venues. Just out of curiosity, do you prefer one over the other?
Oh, that's a really hard question. I moved off of the street. So I was doing theme parks, and I was doing family shows in theaters and at libraries. And then I do a lot of corporate work. I needed to leave the street because a good street day takes 10, 12 hours sometimes, and I had to travel with the seasons. And that meant that I was away from home a lot more, and that I would need to be away from home for prolonged periods. And because I have kids and a family, I couldn't really do that. And so working indoor environments means that I only leave for a day or two, and then I come back to my family. But, if I lived in some paradise where I didn't have to, chase seasons, and I could go out and street perform every day and be home in my own bed, I don't know, maybe I would still be a street performer. I love how quick-witted that it kept me and how sharp it kept me, and my skills were, excellent. So you do lose some of that when you move to indoor performances, because instead of doing 100 shows in a week, you might only do 2 shows or 3 shows in a week. In a bad month, I might only do 3 shows in a month, So I miss the repetition of the street.